So today I would like to talk a bit about books, RPGs, and world building. And there is a purpose for that because I will start to focus not only on books when it comes to storytelling in fantasy, but also on RPGs because I think today the ways of telling fantastical stories can be made in many, many different ways. And this will take your time, some time. So grab yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. I have mine here. And this is just a rant, you could say. And I hope you enjoy this. And to my help, I have many books beside me. Here is the Pathfinder core book. Why do I bring up role-playing games or tabletop role-playing games? Well, that's because they who have created these kind of games have really been thinking about how to make a believable world. And no matter if you are reading fantasy or um, writing it, or you're interested in mythology or in sci-fi, which has a lot of sci-fi fantasy elements, I think this can be interesting. Let's see. Other books that I have besides me, which I will talk a bit about, is the D&D. I think you can see it like this. Yes, Adventurer's Guide, The Sword Coast. Um, I have the Elden Ring, which everyone probably knows about here, I suppose. A an interesting way of telling stories, I think, because it's really show, don't tell. I will talk a bit about that as well. And then I have the Rogue Trader. This is Warhammer 40k. This is very new to me. I'm not so into these kind of things. I played the 40k Warhammer 40k CRPG, and I really really enjoyed it. And because of that, I bought this book, which was very very difficult to find, but I did it finally in the end. Someone one on the globe had it. And then this is a Pathfinder as well, but it's the Pathfinder campaign settings. Why do I have these books? Do I play the games, the tabletop role-playing games? No, I don't actually, but I've been playing TTRPGs when I was younger, especially Dungeons and Dragons. Um, and Steven Erickson and Ian C. Esselmont, as you know, if you follow this channel, they started their world building through role playing. And in this book, Pathfinder, the core rule book, there is an interesting index that might be interesting for you as well. So I think this book is very, very nice. First of all, you have a lot of really nice illustrations. The game is great. It's very deep. It's very complicated. They say I just jumped into it and it worked well. I'm not sure why. They have an index here, and I will read the headlines for you. So the headlines are ancestries and backgrounds. So crucial, of course, for both fantasy books and world building and also RPGs. Then there are classes. I haven't talked so much about classes, but usually we have different classes, of course, different professions or different type of characters. It could be archer, it can be monk, like here we have more classes. See if I find one here. Yeah, we have the archer, we have the rogue, for example. I can show you the rogue. I'm not sure if this looks so good, but here we have the scoundrel, for example. Many different classes, and we find this in board games as well. For example, in Gloomhaven and Oathsworn, we have different classes. So you have ancestors, you have backgrounds, you have classes, you have different skills, of course, that the character can have. Skills that are useful, like survival could be a skill, for example. You have strength, can have intelligence, for example, hopefully, and different kind of skills that sets you up for uh, becoming good in the fantasy world you act in. Either if you do it in a video game or you do it on a board game, or even if you really think about it, also Karsa Orlong or Frodo or Sam, they have different skills, of course. And as you might know, there is a Lord of the Rings tabletop role-playing game. I haven't read about that. I don't have it. Maybe you have it, then you can tell me a little bit more. Then you have equipment, important, of course. You don't think about that maybe so much when you read fantasy books, that they have their equipment, unless it's a magical weapon. But when you build a character, either on video games or in TTRPGs, you have to think about what you have, equipment you have, if it's effective, if it's useful, if it's heavy. Because if it's too heavy, you become slower. That goes for video games as well nowadays. And parallel is to Lord of the Rings, when Sam Wise Gamgee is packing his backpack for the journey to Rivendell. He is thinking a lot about if he should take the rope with him, yes or no. I suppose you've all read Lord of the Rings, but maybe someone of you have not, so I won't spoil that. Then you have a headline here called Game Mastering. I would say that's very interesting, because if you really play tabletop RPGs, you need to have a game master. If you play a video game, a fantasy game, the game master is already there, and if you read the book, the game master is the author, of course. And the last headline here is crafting and treasure. So crafting, I think I'll stop with it, not treasure. Crafting, you don't see that so much in books, maybe. Maybe you know some fantasy books that bring up crafting a lot, please tell me. But in video games, as well as the tabletop RPGs and also board games, are fantasy board games, crafting can be an essential thing that you need to engage with, so you can develop better and better equipment or potions, for example. So I thought the structure of this book, Pathfinder Core Rulebook, second edition, was interesting. Let's see if I can show you without spelling out my T. Yeah, I'll put it like that. If you are interested, you can pause and you can see the different headlines in the picture. I just got curious on world building, and I thought that the TTRPGs, the way they structure it, is a very good way to get a glimpse on how to structure world building. Maybe you write on your own, maybe you're just interested how do they build worlds. And I also been thinking on mythological worlds, because, or religious worlds, faith, theology, etc. It's a kind of world building there as well. Since that has to do with people's, you could say, real beliefs, I don't want to trivialize that with breaking it down too much, but it's possible to do that maybe on Greek mythology and Roman mythology. They the same. Egyptian, you can do that as well. So maybe that's a topic for future videos. I've had a video on how to create your own pantheon. It's related to that. What you didn't find in this book is the world building when it comes to geography. So here I have a picture of a map. See if I can find it. Yes, this is I think the Sword Coast in Dungeons and Dragons. Correct me if I'm wrong, because Dungeons and Dragons in Sweden was a Swedish label and a Swedish company who made that. So it was not D&D as in the American or maybe English version. So D&D in Swedish is Drakar och Demoner, Dragons and Dungeons. That's me. That is what it means. Drakar is dragons and Demoner is demons. So we played that a lot, me and my friends, when we were younger. I have friends today who are still role playing, but when you have kids and everything, it's difficult to get time for it. But here is a map like this. It's very easy to delve into maps and to get lost into maps. I like it a lot. Also in this book you have a lot of races and character building advice. I think this is especially interesting because here you have the Baldur's Gate, for example, and since that is a video game, it's been for a long time, but I'm thinking of Baldur's Gate 3. It's interesting to see how they translate the tabletop RPGs to the video games. And of course, they draw a lot of inspiration from books. Please comment in the field below if you come up with some ideas, if you know other role-playing games, tabletop or video games that you think are very interesting to learn more about. And if you want me to talk about them a little more, I'm happy to do that. And there is obviously an overlap to books, as I said before. That's an understatement for you probably, and also for me, because I've said it many times. But I think this is interesting and very unexplored, and maybe not acceptable. I mean, fantasy as a genre is considered to be niche and is not considered to have the literary quality like books who win the Nobel Prize does, for example, or fiction or non-fiction. I mean, that fantasy is still regarded as something maybe strange. I think it's changing a lot. Maybe I'm, drawing this a little further because I talk also about RPGs, which is even more considered as a niche, I suppose. Especially tabletop RPGs, but also video games or CRPGs. This is Elden Ring. Great storytelling, but a very difficult game. So I used to say that books are good because you don't need to level up. In this book, which is a big, you could say, spoilerish book, because you can get to know everything about Elden Ring. It's about how to build your character. It's about how to solve different quests, and it's also about maps. And I think that's very interesting. It's also about Pantheon. I have a map here, which I can show you. See if it works to unfold it here. In Elden Ring, it's called the Lands Between. And it's, you can see it's very big. I don't know. Yeah, you will see that. If I do like this, you will see it properly. I just have to check this. Big map, a lot of things to do, and the landmarks are numbered, or the point of interest are numbered. And in this world, there is a huge lore and it's developed partly by George R. R. Martin, but I don't think he has made a framework, and then I think there are developers who have um, expanded on the story. I would say that Elden Ring is very Malazan-like in its structure, in many ways, especially the gods and so on. However, it's a Souls-like game, so it's very, very difficult. So if you don't like that kind of challenges, it's not a game for you. But the gods are mysterious. They are gray shade. They are gray, not black and white. And but it's also a very, very depressing world. So maybe not for everyone. Um, what RPG books also have is that they also have these very detailed descriptions about the world. This is Pathfinder, the Inner Sea World Guide. So here you can find everything about this role-playing game for you to create your own adventures. Um, so I highly recommend this one if you want to see how they have structured it and how they have built the world. Um, Here we can read about the races once again. We read about the special geographical area here, the inner sea, the cities, the regions. We read about religion. Actually, here we can read about life, festivities, traditions, trade, fauna, technology. There are also factions here, different kind of factions, of course, that are opposing each other or maybe are friends to each other. And there is also a part here called monsters, but it's connected to fauna, I suppose. Um, so I think this is very interesting if you want to do something yourself or just get more curious on how the things you are reading or playing has been structured and where the inspiration comes from. One thing that strikes me a lot is that we now who like fantasy and mythology, etc., many of us are grown-ups now. So the literature and the games are made for grown-ups as well. So uh, from time to time, some stories are not mature, and sometimes it works fine, at least for me. But I still request more mature content when it comes to fantasy and sci-fi, for example, which can be drawn a lot of inspiration from mythology. I would say because that is directed to um, both small kids and grown-up people. The last book, which I showed you in the beginning, is Rogue Trader. The Rogue Trader universe is a very special universe. I read that the Warhammer 40k or Warhammer was created as a protest against Margaret Thatcher. I'm not sure if this is true. British Prime Minister in the 80s. You can, of course, have the opinions you want. I have no certain opinion about her, but she was very controversial for many people, and somehow they made Warhammer to make a dystopian society. I don't know if it was based on that and what would happen in the long run. I'm not sure. It's a funny story, however. Rogue Trader is about, I would say it's about colonization, at least the video game. You are a commander on a spaceship who takes part in a lot of conflicts and a lot of political struggles, but you also discover the space. I think it's called the Corona's Expanse, the world. I might be wrong because this is very, very new to me. And in this book, like in the Pathfinder book I showed you, there is a structure. I will do like this, and you can pause, and if you're really interested in this, please tell me, and I will put up on a photo, up a photo on the YouTube community page, which you can find easily. So the content is character creation. It's the history of the world. We have career paths, skills, talents when you create your character. Armor is very important in this world, where there are a lot of technical advanced weapons. In this world, people have psychic powers, so kind of magicians, I suppose. And then, of course, the rogue trader. That's a like during the uh, period of sea voyage on Earth. The ships had a captain. The rogue trader is a kind of captain who can explore the world and can meet other civilizations which are unknown, and they create contacts, and you can decide on if you want to cooperate with them, be friends, or maybe be enemies. So I think this world is very intriguing, and I bought this book especially because of the rogue trader concept. I liked the rogue trader concept, and the idea of exploration is fascinating, and I have also some miniature here which I'm painting at the moment. So I enjoy this take on world building, and since it is in space, it feels a bit different from maybe the fantasy equivalent of world building, but maybe it's the same. I'm not sure. Maybe you have ideas on that, on the difference between world building and sci-fi and fantasy. So this was just a short intro, you could say, to the overlap which I am seeing, which I will try to build more upon in more structured videos. I have to say as well, because this is more of a rant. I'm happy if you are still here. And what I have not mentioned is Pillars of Eternity. I should have mentioned that maybe in the beginning, but I will keep coming back to that game because the lore in that game is so fantastic, and it's very, very Malazan-esque, I would say. And the stories and the character building is very, very deep. So I will try to focus a little extra on that game because I think that is a gem. I think it's a literary game, at least when it comes to uh, games on console or computers, when it comes to fantasy. And I think it has a lot of relationships to other books, especially Malazan Book of the Fallen. So in upcoming videos, I will delve into Pillars of Eternity lore more, and I hope you will find that interesting. If you're just into the books, maybe that's a game you can discover and try to play. And if you're just only into games, maybe you can try to learn more about Malazan Book of the Fallen. I think it's a high chance, if you like the either of them, that you will like the other, the book or the video game. So with that, I hope you will have a beautiful day. We are growing on the channel, more subscribers, so I'm happy for that. So I will continue to niche myself more. It seems like it's fun for me, and it seems like it's very fun for you. So until next time, have a nice day. Bye.